Hi, and welcome back to Project 900 Week 2. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to get deeper into AI together and figure out how we can use that to expand our influence and do more good with our nonprofits. So thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed Week 1. If you missed Week 1, go back and make sure to look at the Week 1 video and then come back here for Week 2 because we're going to be expanding on what we talked about last week, and that's going to be a really important foundation. So for today, AI for Impact, your daily productivity partner with chat tools. So we're going to talk through some of the chat tools that we talked about last week, and I'm going to add on one new chat tool that I'm also going to share with you today that's going to help you kind of refine some of your research, hopefully, and some of your thinking. It's going to be really interesting, so stick with me. So here we go. Let's get into it. Building on your AI journey. So quick recap. What is AI and why does it matter for nonprofits? AI is your partner. AI is your smart intern. That's the framework that we're looking on this. It's a co-intelligence that is acting as a smart, very intelligent intern that needs a lot of guidance and that needs double checking on their facts. That's kind of that's the lens through which we're viewing AI for the completion or for this whole course. So that's kind of what it is. And why does it matter? It matters to nonprofits because we can do so much more good in the world when we can be more productive, and we're able to get so much more done by utilizing AI than we were before. And so your productivity, the throughput of what you create can be so much better, so much bigger, and have so much more impact through AI. And honestly, also be so much clearer as well, because I think AI can help clarify a lot of our communications and a lot of our marketing and a lot of our interactions and meetings and everything else. So today's focus, we're going to do two hands-on activities with AI. One is related to Notebook LM, which I'll introduce in a minute. The other is going to be just a quick ChatGPT prompt and an example of a bad prompt and a good prompt. And we'll get deeper into prompt frameworks, I think in weeks 4 and 5. So I'm not going to go super deep into that, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a taste for that so that as you're using things, you can be doing good prompting. So that's the basis for today. All right, so familiar tools are ChatGPT and Gemini. We talked about last time. We also talked about Copilot. I want to also make sure, and I think I mentioned several times, Claude is a great chat tool. A lot of my friends use Claude over all of the other chat tools. So I think that's worth considering. There's free accounts for Claude. It does a great job. So Claude's great. It has its own benefits. It's great for, like it says here, long text, complex summaries, things like that. Though in all fairness, Gemini and ChatGPT do a great job with those as well. The other thing that I want to introduce today is Notebook LM. And here's the thing about Notebook LM. There's two things to know that I think are really critical. One is Notebook LM is quote, grounded AI, which means that it only learns from the documents that you feed to it. So if you want a summary of a document or you want stats from a document, Notebook LM actually might be the better place to get it, because if you load a document into ChatGPT, there's a propensity for ChatGPT to grab information from that document, but then also to grab information from other sources and other training data that it has and other things on the internet and pull that in. And then even sometimes to do a little bit of hallucinations as well and give you data that may not be correct. And so the nice thing about Notebook LM is that it only is going to give you data from what you're actually looking at. And it's not going to give you other data, and that's going to be helpful. It's going to give you data from the specific document you loaded or the specific web page you loaded, not from other sources across the internet. So that's really important to understand with Notebook LM and how Notebook LM works. So let's talk first about how to talk to AI, and then we're going to do a quick thing. I'm going to do a quick demo with Notebook LM. So how to talk to AI. First, be clear. Specific prompts yield better results. I'm going to give you an example of that in just a minute. Key elements. So give it a role. So say like, you are a marketing professional. You are a nonprofit marketing professional. You are a nonprofit grant writer. Like tell the AI who it is, who it's emulating for this session. Then give it a task. You are going to draft. You're a nonprofit marketer. You're going to draft a thank you email to a donor that gave $50,000. The context is that $50,000 is going to go to support X program and X program, this and this and this and this outcome, blah, 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 blah. And iteration or sort of what your output is like, I want this email to be 150 words and to have a friendly tone, right? So just kind of give it a lot of context and then always review it. So let's take a look at that right now. All right, so we're gonna go over here to ChatGPT and I'm gonna give you an example of a bad prompt and then we're gonna look at an example of a good prompt. So bad prompt first, write a thank you email to a donor. Okay, so this is a bad prompt because there's no context. It doesn't tell you who the donor is. It doesn't tell you what the donor gave. It doesn't give the perspective for the AI for like who they are, the perspective that they're writing from. It doesn't give any impact. It's very, very bland. And look, it even says like insert organization name, insert specific impact thing, insert research. Like this is not a great prompt at all. And typically I would not recommend you do a prompt like this because it's really not particularly helpful. So instead, let's go to new chat. Let's pull up another prompt. And this is a better prompt. It's not an amazing prompt, but it's a better prompt. And this is write a warm and professional thank you email from a nonprofit organization to a major donor who just made a $50,000 contribution. Mention how their gift will support expanding youth mentorship programs in underserved communities. The tone, again, we get back to tone, the tone should be sincere, appreciative, and emphasize the donor's impact. End with an invitation to visit one of the programs in action. So let's see what that gives us. So this is a much better version. It gives more information. It's a better written email. This is something a donor is going to receive and know that it's been customized to them at least. So it's not just a copy paste template. You can see it's longer. It's got more details. It's more insightful. Like this is the kind of email that you want to send. This is the kind of prompt that you want to create. And that's the benefit of a more detailed contextual prompt. I mean, again, we're going back to think of AI as your intern. If you've got a brand new intern that's just super brilliant, but has never written a donor email before, like how would you approach that person? You would give them a lot of context and a lot of information. And you would say, do this and then do this and then do this. And here's the perspective and make sure you use this tone guide and make sure you use this type of voice and do this, da, da, da. You give them all kinds of context and information. And then you would have them draft the email and then you would review the email and make sure it's good. And you'd make some edits and then you would send the email out. And that's how you want to approach AI as well. So bear that in mind as you're approaching AI. So that's the basics of like giving context so that you can get good output. So be clear, key elements, always review, right? All right, so now let's talk a little bit more about what AI can do for you as a productivity partner, as a co-intelligence. I talked about some of this last week, but I want to make sure that I give you this over and over and over again so you can see the different use cases that AI can do for you. So first, drafting emails, drafting social media, drafting website. Like yesterday, I was working on a website of mine and I was like, I wrote this and this seems pretty clear to me, but I don't think it's clear enough. So I just dropped it into ChatGPT and said, hey, make this text simpler, which is not an amazing prompt, but I'd make this text simpler and I dropped in the text and what it spit back out was so much better than what I had created for this simple description. And then I did the same thing for a headline, like, hey, here's the headline I'm doing. Here's the audience for this headline. Now give me several options for different headlines I can use for this. And it did that and it did an amazing job and it was much better than some of the other headlines that I had been using. And so social media, emails, if you're writing an email and you're frustrated while you're writing the email, maybe run it through ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude to say, hey, make sure this sounds nice and pleasant and not frustrated or passive aggressive. It's a silly thing to say, but it can be very, very helpful and it will draft or redraft the email in a very clear, concise, and friendly manner, which is really important. Meetings, I've talked about this before, like use this to prep meeting agendas. Use this to prep and create notes and takeaways from meetings and who was assigned for what task and who's doing what and what are the open questions that you've got. Like AI is one of the most powerful tools to recreate our meetings that I've ever seen. And if you're not using AI to draft an agenda before a group meeting and to do a summary takeaway after the group meeting, you are absolutely missing out. It is one of the greatest productivity improvements you can ever have. If you haven't already watched my Project 900 preview on meetings, go back and watch that. It will be really helpful. Ideation, you can brainstorm campaigns, you can brainstorm marketing ideas, you can brainstorm program ideas, you can brainstorm AI lessons for nonprofits. There's so many things you can use AI to do to brainstorm. It's unbelievable. And then planning, outlining strategies, doing research summaries. Like there's so much planning you can do. Like, hey, I've got this project. This project needs to be done by December 18th. Here's all of the things and milestones that I need to have done. Here are all the key stakeholders. How should I plan this out? And AI will do a majestic job of helping you plan that out. And you can create a project plan for that and it will be amazing. So just a few more ideas of how you can use AI in your daily productivity. I encourage you to use it as much as humanly possible. You will not be sorry. It is your co-intelligence. It is your super smart, super savvy intern. It'll get you where you want to go. All right, so the challenge for this week is going to be to use NotebookLM, but I don't want to send you into using NotebookLM without showing you how to use NotebookLM. So I'm going to give you two examples of how to use NotebookLM right now. So I'm going to go to my NotebookLM. You can set up NotebookLM, should be able to do it for free with a Google account. So I'm going to go into NotebookLM and I'm going to create a new notebook. And the first thing I'm going to do is let's imagine that I think I got a Gartner white paper recently, and it's related to women in technology. So I'm going to go choose that file, and it's right here. How CIOs can stop the decline of women in IT leadership roles. Okay, so this will be the only resource that NotebookLM will review and give me information on. And that's important because if I want to, create an infographic with statistics from this particular document, I want to make sure the statistics are only from this particular document. They're not from other places in the internet. They're not things that have been hallucinated or whatever else. And so let's do that. Let's say give me all the All right, give me all the statistics about women in IT from this document. Enter. It's going to do its little thing, and boom. That is a lot of information right there. Check this out. That's so good. Gender inequity faced by women IT leaders, 8 in 10 IT women in 8 in 10 women IT leaders report facing gender inequity, specifically 85% of senior women IT leaders reported experiencing one of the more following: tokenism, sexism, microaggressions. This is an amazing summary of a very long and detailed white paper that I don't have time to read. And so I can go in here and say, all right, give me all of this information from this one source. And now I can go, oh, great, let me grab all that and let me go create an infographic, or let me go create social media posts from it. Or I could dump this directly in. That's another great way to do it. I can say, hey, take all of these stats and create 10 social media posts from them. And any of the AI bots that we're talking, any of the AI bots, chat bots that we're talking about can do that, and can do that very, very quickly. So that's one option for NotebookLM. So now if I go back, and let's create another NotebookLM. And instead of using a document this time, I'm going to use a website. And I'm going to use the website for 48 and 48, which is the nonprofit that I co-founded and the nonprofit that I'm executive director of. And so I'm going to use this for marketing purposes. And this is going to be interesting because I have not done this before. So its only resource is the homepage of 48and48.org. So I'm going to insert that, and you can see all the sources right here. Home, empowering nonprofits, free professional. All right. So the question is, does the copy on 48and48.org share the right details that I want shared for marketing? So I'm going to read this right now, real time. I've never looked at this before. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see if this draws from it what I want to draw. So 48 and 48 is a nonprofit organization that provides free, professionally designed websites to other nonprofits globally. They achieve this through weekend-long build events where volunteer designers, developers, and writers collaborate to create and launch new websites. The organization focuses on empowering various causes, including women's initiatives and social justice, and has generated significant value for the nonprofits it serves. That's pretty great. Corporate sponsorships and individual volunteers are crucial to operate. That's perfect. And so the assignment you're going to get tomorrow, I think, is going to be to set up NotebookLM, to put your nonprofit's website into NotebookLM, and then determine, is it accurate? Is the summary that you're reading correct? And if it's not, that means the copy on your homepage is not right. The other thing I would do, the other amazing thing about NotebookLM is this right here. So you can go right here and I can say deep dive conversation and generate. And what this is going to do is generate an AI podcast between two hosts based on the data that I just fed to this. And so in the example before where it's the Gartner white paper, it'll generate about an 8 to 10 minute podcast that is an overview of the Gartner white paper. And so if you're about to go to a meeting and you need to drive to the meeting and you really need to sort of consume the information in this white paper before that, this is kind of a game changer because you can generate a podcast, an AI podcast from the white paper and then just listen to it. And it's interesting. It's two hosts bantering back and forth about the information that's in the white paper. And so I would also encourage you in your assignment to do this with your website. Like, so when you load in your website as the data source for NotebookLM, have it generate a co-host conversation and then listen to it. And is the way that they describe your nonprofit accurate? If they say you do this, do you do that? If they say that you believe this or your mission is this or your vision is this, is that correct? Are they using the right language? And if they are, then that's good. That means your marketing is clear. And if they're not, that's bad. And it means your marketing is unclear. And so you want to be absolutely sure that your marketing is clear. And this is a great opportunity to do that. So that's going to be your AI challenge for this week. Now, wrapping it up, your call to action is to share. Share what you're learning. Come to this post and write a comment and share about what you learned last week. Share about what you're learning this week. What did NotebookLM highlight for you about your homepage? Was it accurate? Did anything surprise you? And did this feature or any of this lesson help you in your work for this week? I hope that it did. Stick with us because I've got assignments coming out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Don't forget the Q&A on Friday. The email for that goes out on Friday morning with the link to the Q&A. So don't forget that. And make sure if you're not subscribed that you subscribe, and please share this on social media. We want to get to 900 before the end of week 13. And you sharing on social media that you're taking part in Project 900 helps with that. Make sure you use the hashtag Project 900. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.